They say history does not record courage. It whispers it in moments that sear the soul. The scorched plains of Misty Peak now simmer with the aftermath of chaotic might. In recap, Martial God Asura Chapter 979, Chapter 980, Chu Feng's four symbols slaughtering formation clashed against the infernal wrath of Huangfu Haoyue's 38 Burning Heaven Fire Serpents, each one a living embodiment of Mortal Taboo power. The sky churned, the sea hissed, and the very air trembled under the blazing assault. Yet beneath the inferno, Chu Feng's mind raced like a shadow, seeking the single key to unravel the demonic soul seizing technique. As the formation shatters and the boundless flames loom ever closer, one question hangs over the battlefield. Can the young warrior's final gambit turn the tide? Or will the Eastern Sea witness a conflagration beyond reckoning? In the realm where heaven and earth trembled, a storm of destiny was about to unleash. The air itself seemed to shiver, as if anticipating the clash of titanic wills. And in that tense stillness, Huangfu Haoyue's eyes flashed with a merciless, icy light. With a deliberate sweep of the fan of raging flames of the burning heaven, the very air around him ignited. Flames, long suppressed by Chu Feng's formidable power, now surged forth with renewed ferocity. They burned hotter, sharper, more alive, an inferno that threatened to consume all who dared oppose it. Chu Feng felt the oppressive heat press upon his chest, threatening to suffocate his very spirit. Yet he did not falter. The fire's wrath was immense, but his resolve burned even brighter. With a thought that resonated like a war drum through the void, he bellowed, "Four symbols slaughtering formation!" From the depths of his body, four celestial beasts erupted, holy and radiant, each radiating an aura of divine authority. They surged outward like meteors, converging upon the infernal blaze with unrelenting fury. Around them, an ethereal formation took shape, the four symbols' slaughter formation, a lattice of celestial might that twisted and surged through the flames. The world shook with the deafening roar of clashing powers, as the raging inferno was twisted, torn, and finally scattered into oblivion. Yet, Chu Feng's attention did not waver. The formation's force continued its inexorable advance, its gaze fixed not upon Huangfu Haoyue, but upon Murong Mingchen. The strategy was subtle yet brutal. The demonic soul-seizing technique held Huangfu Haoyue in its grasp, and only by removing the core, the source, could the chains be broken. Chu Feng's heaven's eyes, vigilant and unyielding, had already discerned the solution. A single truth emerged. To shatter the binding, Murong Mingchen must fall. Panic surged through Murong Mingchen as the four symbols' slaughtering formation bore down upon him. His cries pierced the air, mingling with the roar of flames. Huangfu Haoyue's eyes gleamed with the heightened hunger of a predator, his fan trembling in anticipation. With a surge of otherworldly cries, 38 fire serpents erupted from the fan. Small and contained within the fan, they now became titanic beasts. Each one a sinuous column of flame, thousands of meters long, radiating a deadly aura that warped the very space around them. These fire serpents descended upon Chu Feng's formation, encircling it with the precision of practiced killers. Their jaws snapped, their scales ignited the air, and in a single shocking instant, the four symbols' slaughter formation shattered. The incomprehensible power of the Burning Heaven Fire Serpent formation had revealed itself. Chu Fuyan's voice broke the tense silence in disbelief. Her unease mirrored on every face around her. Chu Feng and his allies' expressions hardened, their hearts gripped by an icy dread. The Burning Heaven Fire Serpent formation was no ordinary technique. It was a Mortal Taboo martial skill, a fusion of the legendary Burning Heaven mysterious technique and the fan of raging flames of the Burning Heaven. Only the most elite could summon such power, and even then, the cost was monumental. History remembered the Burning Heaven Church's Pope wielding this formation to annihilate a monstrous beast race, leaving nothing but rivers of fire in his wake. Now, Huangfu Haoyue had summoned 38 serpents, surpassing even that legendary power, a force that could rival the might of an earthen taboo martial skill. The serpents began to merge, their bodies coiling, intertwining, forming an unbroken lattice of blazing power. Flames roared like a miniature sun plummeting from the sky, runes of scorching red light dancing along their scales. The very fabric of space shuddered, oceans boiled and steamed, and the air thickened with unbearable pressure. Even the Misty Peak stood resolute, the only point of stability amidst the fury. Lesser cultivators nearby could not withstand the onslaught, their bodies torn asunder by the searing power. The spirit formations, fragile shields of ethereal energy, were forced to stretch to their limits as Chu Feng and his companions shepherded the remaining crowd to safety. Amidst the chaos, Chu Feng stood at the epicenter of the inferno. The fire twisted and roared around him, yet his form remained steady, a lone figure in the heart of an endless furnace. Beads of sweat evaporated the moment they touched his skin. His face flushed from the relentless heat, and yet his eyes gleamed with unwavering determination. A faint, knowing smile curved his lips, a calm amidst the storm. "In the end," he whispered to the world ablaze around him, "it seems I must use this to finish it once and for all." The air hung heavy, thick with the scent of smoke and the tension of countless eyes fixed upon a single fateful moment. "Chu Feng, are you truly willing to unleash the firmament slash? Do you wish to shatter your own body?" The voice of Eggy broke the uneasy silence, soft yet edged with worry. She had walked beside him since his earliest steps, witnessed his triumphs and his sufferings. No one understood the depths of Chu Feng's spirit, or the fragility of his body, better than she did. The firmament slash was no ordinary technique. It was a weapon forged in the crucible of the Asura spirit world, capable of leveling mountains, yet it was a curse wrapped in glory. Every strike demanded a toll, a price exacted from the very marrow and sinew of its wielder. Chu Feng had already felt the hidden cost when he faced Xianxia. Though he emerged victorious, the strain had quietly gnawed at his body, leaving scars unseen but unyielding. To use it again now was to risk the permanence of that damage, perhaps the very path of his cultivation itself. Eggy's eyes searched his, pleading for reason, yet Chu Feng only offered a faint, resolute smile. "I understand your worry, Eggy, but if I cannot survive this moment, what meaning has tomorrow?" His voice carried the weight of inevitability. "Come, stand with me. Let us end this here and strike down Murong Mingchen together." Her breath trembled as she asked, "Is there truly no other way?" She knew well that Huangfu Haoyue's might dwarfed Xianxia. A single slash, even the fifth, might not suffice, and the ninth slash would demand a price beyond reckoning. Chu Feng's life, his body, even his future, everything hung in the balance. "There can be no harvest without sacrifice," Chu Feng said, each word deliberate, each pause a drumbeat of fate. "Victory demands that I place all I am on the line. Nothing less will suffice." Eggy's lips curved into a tender, sorrowful smile. "Then we bear it together." She closed her eyes, and in that instant, an astonishing force flowed into Chu Feng. Life essence drawn from the depths of the Asura spirit world itself. Shock coursed through him. This was no mere enhancement of his body. This was a channeling of strength so profound it brushed against the forbidden. Eggy was touching the edges of taboo, risking her very life to bolster his. Yet the stakes were too vast. The lives of countless others intertwined with theirs. Chu Feng did not forbid it. He accepted, silently, the dangerous gift. A sudden surge erupted from him. Black flames twisted upward, forming twin wings that stretched into the air, their shadows casting dread across the battlefield. Power thrummed in every muscle, every sinew, every heartbeat. Murong Mingqian's roar tore through the tumult, sharp as a sword. "What are you waiting for? Strike him down!" With no hesitation, Huangfu Haoyue unleashed the Burning Heaven Fire Serpent formation. Flames writhed like living serpents, each movement warping the air and shaking the very peaks of Misty Peak. The heat, the roar, the overwhelming energy threatened to consume all within sight. "Run! If you can!" The warning barely passed lips before waves of inferno surged outward. Even from a distance, observers felt the terror. The formation's power was indiscriminate, an avalanche of death. Among the million who watched, countless were already succumbing to the intensity, their bodies failing under the oppressive aura. Yet amidst the chaos, some stood firm. Members of the crippling night demon sect, Ziling, and others braced against the maelstrom, their lives entrusted entirely to Chu Feng. Their hearts beat in unison with his. If he fell, they would too. If he endured, they would survive. Then, with a voice that carried the force of thunder, Chu Feng cried out, "Earthen Taboo! Firmament / 9 consecutive slashes!" The air itself seemed to shiver. A world-ending pressure radiated from him, rolling outward in waves. Blood-red energy cleaved the skies, striking the serpentine inferno with the weight of heaven's wrath. Explosions ignited. Fiery red light consumed vision and reason alike. Yet, even as chaos reigned, Chu Feng's strength shielded those around him. Invisible walls of power absorbed the shockwaves, saving the lives of many. Silence followed the storm, broken only by the fading echoes of cataclysm. When the red light finally ebbed and the tremors stilled, the battlefield lay revealed. Eyes widened in disbelief, then filled with exhilaration. Ziling, Chu Feng, and the warriors of the crippling night demon sect erupted in cheers, voices ringing with the triumph of survival, of victory earned through courage and sacrifice. Even those who bore no loyalty to Chu Feng could not help but cheer. The terror, the tension, the fear, it had all dissolved. And thus the curtains fell on this chapter of war. Flames, fury, and fate had danced together, and in their wake, a hero's legacy had been carved into the annals of the world.